So Amir's been working on that door over there. He's got that sorted out. You can see we've got the 3 bars in and the three verticals and the 3 horizontal bars, and you can see there, hopefully you can see there now, that these bars are straight going down the side, and you can see how the cab slopes in, and that's because of the doors, and that was important. It's the same both sides. But now what he's done is he's fixed up that anchor point there. Well, we talked about that leg. So now we can think about welding the cab to this box section, because we've got 8 anchor points now. We have to finish the other door on the other side. This side is just tacked in, but the metal will go up against this, so we'll clean all this off, and the metal's going over the metal that's making the back of the cab will be coming up against the door. So when you shut the door, the metal will come up here. There'll be a shut line between the door and the cab. But we obviously have to clean all this up and paint it before we put it on, and then it'll go round and so on. There we are. But it's nice and secured now. So now the fun bit, the big fill-in bits come now. Yeah. So there you go. I'll bring you back when we've got a bit more done. Right, so you can see why I had this metal cut, or I've done it in that particular way. I had these sheets cut at 40. They're 2 meters long because that was the length of the sheet. So obviously what will happen now is there'll be a top one here for the window. This sheet, I've got 2 of these already, and then this sheet from here to this edge will be 21, which I've got 4 sheets cut. Both sides, there'll be inner and outer sheeting on the box section that makes up the sides and the tailgate here, and the backboard, and I've got everything cut to size, and even the 4 corners to make up, which we have to put onto the English wheel, and I'll show you that now if I can get through. It's a bit tight here. There we go. You can see they're 2 meters long, but obviously there's going to be quite a bit left over. So I went down to my local supplier today, and this is all the sheeting that's going on. So these ones here, these big 50 by 50 I think they are, or 50 by whatever, 50 by 40, they will be put through the English wheel there, and then the other ones will make the sides. This flat bar here is for making the picture frame corners on the uprights. So Amir's been in the garage most of the day on his own while I was picking up Alex at the airport in Vienna, and he's made these cab corners here, and these are the 2 sheets that we had yesterday, and obviously he's cut them off, but you can see how nice they're going to fit together for the spot welding. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to actually put this ridge line on it, which might make it a bit difficult. Now it's bent, but we can re-flatten it and probably bend it again and put those in. So I'll bring you around. He's taken off all these side pieces, which was quite rusty underneath. You can see there's some issues there, but we need these off so that we can put the skirt on the side, and that'll give you an idea how it looks on the back. Obviously it's solid, and the same on this side. I'll take it around and show you, but you can see how nicely that metal that I had pre-guillotined. So you try to do it here, and you can see how he's cut through it. We can weld that back, that's not a real problem. But he had the wrong die in there, I think. But we'll find it out tomorrow. But you can see that edging is really good. That's going to fit quite well. Obviously there'll be another round this side, but it'll have a flat step in it, so a 90 degree, which will then butt up against this bottom, and then the same on the top, rolling over. So this bottom one, now it's cut to size, we can bead roll that and put some beads in it, which will tighten it up, and it'll stop it from oil canning. And then we'll take the top one and bead roll bigger than the actual window is, and then cut the window out. And I'll show you that. Hopefully, this will be the next thing that you see. That we bead rolled earlier just to try it out, and I just think that was too big, because if you try and if you stretch that amount, you lose it somewhere, and I think this would have stretched it too much. This was one that was specially made, and it was made for an E-type Jaguar, and this is the one we've gone with, this one here, and that's the bead roll that's in it right now, you can see. So that's the one we're going to be using. So this is a piece of the roof that we tried to bump out with the dent puller, but it was in such a poor state. There was loads of lead in it, and it was quite a mess inside. So we ended up cutting it out, and we've started a new piece. It's only just started to go in, but it'll obviously all be lead loaded and everything else because there's quite a bit to do. You can see here we took the drip trails, the rain channels off, and you can see it's quite bad underneath. There's quite a lot of corrosion. On the back, you can see we've done the first of the two bead rolls. So this is a bit of line tape. If I take this now gently, turn it round. Okay, that's straight, but if I put it on there, you can see that that angle's pretty much, it's up a little bit, but the top of that, in fact it's down there, it needs to come up a little bit, but that bead should end up here, and we'll terminate it here on a round. It won't be flat, it'll have a round bead on it, but it'll line up. So you can see there's also a bead on the bottom one. Now there'll be two more in there that you can't see them, but there's two scribe lines with digital caliper, which will be the other two. So this one will come all the way around, and these three will stay inside and then be cleaned up around the edge, so they're rounded here. And tomorrow, we'll finish that up tomorrow, and also then do the back window up here and bead that as well. And we're basically trying to get the roof into a reasonable shape. It's been battered and bruised and pulled, and God knows what they've done to it. But as you can see, there's still a lot to do on this. These we'll have to try and pull out, or try somehow to get inside, or put a screw in them or something. We'll try pulling them with a dent puller to try and get them out. This is where somebody's put a chain, unfortunately, around here and around the other side of the thing, exactly the same place, to lift the cab, and the cab obviously wasn't shifting, or the bolts weren't out or something. We're going to get rid of this vent that was in here because it's rotten anyway. You can see this is patches starting to go in, and Amira's taken all that was rotten all the way along and put a new corner in. Obviously that one underneath is going to go. Alex took off the rain channels yesterday, which we just need to clean up, and the big bit is this. So there's the back of the cab, there's the relief on it. Look, you can even see out the back. Yep. And there's so the reason this one is here is when we put this corner piece on. Could you just put that on for now?
Yeah, top.
Well, it's not in the right place, but it was just, so you can see that would line up a bit. There we go. So that will line up with there, and obviously it's all got to come across and stuff, but anyway, but that will line up with there, and we'll make the corners. And we did the basic FUPA, we got everything set up with a bead roller, and we turned the piece of metal upside down the wrong way. So check and check again, I think is the answer.
So we've put these 4 ribs in to stop that booming effect.
Yeah, so that one metal can now, and that's not even on there. So what he's going to do now, we're going to take it off, he's going to clean up the frame, degrease it, and then we'll paint on the inside where it's been marked, so that eventually when Amir paints the whole cab, that we know there's protection behind it. So that's where we're at, guys. So the three of us are here on a Sunday afternoon. Expecting our goulash tonight for food. Oh, I'm doing a Matt Green there with the food.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this.
Oh, here we go.
Look at this.
Alex Hart, DJSE, Self-Preservation Society.
There, look, if you just want to subscribe to...
Talking about, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's looking good. So a lot of work to do on it, but it's the basics is there, and I think it's pretty kind of nice. That is a windscreen rubber from a Mini that was cut out, which is obviously something we won't use. We wanted to put it in just to see. We'll use a much thinner one and get a nicer line on it. But there you go.
Because hold on a second, if I do take this out, they can see, can't they?
Yeah.
That we put, so we bead rolled it.
Yeah, so you can see the bead roll around it.
And then I cut
and then taking that inside. We can even, what we could do now is we could even bring it to that line.
Yes, we could, yeah, take it in slightly.
It might even be better actually, so that it's the same all the way around. Don't you think? I think that's too sharp. I think we should use that bead line. Yeah, so we'll do, we'll come in and bring that bead line all the way around. That's a good thing.
Yeah, perfect.
Right, so we'll take it off, we'll give it a clean, and we need to paint now so that we can start thinking about putting it on either very late tonight or tomorrow morning.
Sorted.
So.
Stay safe and keep the faith. Enjoy your hobby.